morning. This morning's epiphany as I was getting ready. No, really, this epiphany occurred while I was snoozing the alarm that was telling me to wake up because I was supposed to work out, and then I stopped snoozing it and just turned it off and didn't work out, which is not what I'm supposed to do. The epiphany I had while going through all of that is I'm tired of being tired. And I'm sure you're tired of hearing me say I'm tired of being tired, but I just can't get past that emotion this year. So what I'm gonna have to do is make some changes, and what those changes are, I'm not 100% sure. But one thing I know I need to do is just somehow rid myself of the guilt of not working at all times. So yesterday was Monday. I was here. I meant to vlog. I just didn't get a chance to because the day was busy, and then I had an IEP after school, and then by the end of that IEP I was just really worn out and didn't really have a whole lot to say. But when I got home, I have like 9 more essays to grade, and I just ended that IEP and knew that I didn't have the energy to do that, to read those essays and be fair, because I was going to be reading them tired. And I was feeling bad, like I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna walk Woofy, but I'm not gonna do any work.
If you want your taxes done right and your guaranteed biggest refund, you need to visit.
And then I said, that's okay. Like, it's okay if you don't go home and do work, and you probably need to do that more often. And it's been a rough year. I know I've said that like a broken record. I was just talking to a teacher outside my room who also was saying, you know, I'm not my best this year. You know, I dare say this might be one of my roughest years. And I said, I do say that. Like, this has just been a challenging year. And we were just kind of talking through that as well. And I think I just have to, I need to stop saying it, and I need to actually do. And what I need to actually do is really do what is required of me and not feel the need to do an exceptional amount more. Do what is required of me, and or do what I'm really passionate about, and not feel like I have to do more than that, because I have really just worn myself to the ground at this point. And if I'm doing that to myself and having to deal with parents, teachers, and students that just don't even value the work that I'm doing or kind of do their part that's necessary for things to go well, it's just, things aren't gonna bode well. They're not gonna go well. So I didn't work out this morning. Of course, I felt guilt about that. I also need to work through that. Like, I set these rules for myself, and if I don't follow them exactly, then I beat myself up about it. So my rule is supposed to be that I work out Monday through Friday. I did not work out yesterday, and I didn't work out today. The second rule is that I need to get at least 5 days of a workout in a week. So even though not working out yesterday and today still leaves enough days in the week for me to get to the 5 days a week, there's still this guilt that I feel that I didn't work out today or yesterday. And I have to get myself out of that mind space. It's just like stuff that, some of the stuff I bring on myself and I need to work through, which is why I'm in therapy. But the basic epiphany is that I'm just tired of being tired this year, and I just feel like I'm always tired no matter how much sleep I get. And I think it's not, I'm mistaking it for like a physical tired. I'm mistaking it and thinking like, if I get 12 hours of sleep, I'll wake up tomorrow and feel like rejuvenated and ready. And it's not a physical tired. I think I'm just mentally and emotionally tired, and I probably have been since 2020. And it's just all coming to a head. So that was my epiphany today. That is the thought I had, and I decided to try and get myself through this morning by treating myself to Starbucks. So I did do that. And hi.
You got a minute?
Yeah, okay, I'm back. I had a coworker come in. She had a question that was union based, which was a pretty good question. Like, basically our district has introduced this new platform called Raptor, which sounds like it has the ability of like locking down a campus or sending out mass messages should you be in an emergency, or if you need to page the custodian to your room or admin, it gives you that capability. And the training for that was after school yesterday, but the training was all based on using this app on your phone. And in our district, the union has strongly discouraged teachers from using apps like that on your personal device, because your personal device could then be subpoenaed in a court case if it got to that. So the teacher was asking, like, what is the union stance, because the whole training was based on using this platform on the phone. So I need to actually send a message to teachers saying just kind of hold off on doing all that until we hear back from our union president. And so we were talking about that. I'm on prep. I also, well, just to wrap up what I was saying, I'm tired of being tired. That's the moral of the story. I'm going to work myself through that. There are things that I personally can do to stop or prevent myself from being as tired as I am. And so I have to really not just say I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and not just say I'm going to control the things I can control, but actually control those things. And that may mean leaving work earlier and letting go of the need to try and perpetually be ahead and do things at a certain level, and just give myself a break, because this year's exhausting. So that's where I'm at. I'm on prep. I think what I'm going to do for my universal access class, which is my least favorite class of the day, it has nothing to do with the kids. It's just the structure of this class makes no sense to me, but the district is determined that we have to teach this class in this way, and we don't have any curriculum to teach the class. So we always have to figure out and make up things as we go, which is frustrating and stressful. And it's a class that's not really graded, and the kids know that, and all. It's a mess. I need to make some copies of what I'm going to do today. And the class changes every 6 weeks. Like, the kids are coming and going, and you only see them 2 times a week. So you can't really do anything super meaningful. With all that being said, I need to make some copies, because we had started with one class before the class changed, the whole trial of SpongeBob SquarePants, and then we got interrupted because break came, then district assessments came, and then iReady testing came, then the class changed. So now I have some of those kids from the previous time and a set of new kids. So I need to go make new copies of the SpongeBob SquarePants activity, and that's what we're gonna do. That really focuses on using text evidence. So let me stop talking and ranting, because that's what I feel like I'm doing this morning, and go make these copies and leave you guys alone. Okay, I am on my prep period still. I lost a lot of time battling it out with the copy machines in the office. That's something they don't tell you about when you're getting your teaching credential, is that you will lose lots of minutes just battling the copy machines. Currently, I am printing flyers that the PR committee of my leadership class made yesterday for friendship grams. So we're gonna start selling friendship grams on Thursday, and we will sell them through February the 13th. We will be selling them during lunch. We will be selling them for $3 each. So I'm printing out about 70 copies of that flyer. It's gonna take a while because I think there's about 70 teachers on campus, and I'm gonna have the PR department deliver those during leadership today, and hopefully teachers will hang them up in their rooms. And so the grams are going to, I don't have any put together, but they're gonna look like this. We ordered these grams from Etsy. So there's 4 different kinds of like cards or the gram themselves. So one looks like this, one looks like that, one looks like this, one looks like that. Here's another one, and here's another one. So that's the card that they get where they write who it's from and who it's to. Then they will get a bag, a little heart. We have a sample somewhere, hold on. Okay, then they'll get this bag with a little Valentine's themed rubber duck on the inside. There it is, if you can see it. The card will be attached. It has this little heart tag and this little cellophane bag. So we're selling them for $3 so that we can make sure we make a profit. And I think when we sell them for $3, we make about $1.50 profit in total, somewhere along those lines. So I'm printing out the flyers so they can be delivered. I just emailed our tech person to ask if he can make the flyer into a poster so we can hang those around campus. And that's that. And now I'm getting ready to email the teachers about the new platform I was talking about earlier. I just checked with the principal to see if when this platform was introduced to the administrators in the district, did the district say anything about having teachers be concerned about third-party usage of the app, because that's why a lot of teachers don't want to use it on their phone. And he said they didn't. So I let him know that I'm going to send something out to teachers right now, just saying kind of hold off until we get some guidance from our union rep. And as a union rep, I try and give the admin the opportunity to give me information that maybe I don't know that they have, or to kind of give me their perspective and let them know, hey, this is what I'm about to do, so that the relationship between me as one of the reps and the administrator is not like contentious, or that he feels like I'm trying to, you know, be shifty or do something behind his back. So that's what I've accomplished so far during my prep. I have about 4 minutes of it left. So I'm gonna stop talking and get ready for my leadership class. Okay, it's 3:05 and I'm just waiting for this video that my leadership kids made to upload to a shared drive that I have to give to the 7th grade leadership teacher who is in charge of our newscast. And then I need to head out because I have a meeting after school at a different school site. And this is a meeting of the individuals that are on the equity, that are on the equity committee in my district. And this is where we go to kind of see what is on the schedule for the next staff meeting session that we're in charge of, and discuss any questions we may have. Where is my book? And I'm also planning to share perhaps a letter I drafted that I might be sharing with someone at the district level regarding us getting credit for the time it takes us to be a part of this committee and conduct these staff meetings. I'm holding on to it because I gave it to the union president. She's looking it over, and when she looked it over initially, she realized that she did not communicate the original concern that we had correctly to the board members at the district level. So it's possible their decision was based on a misunderstanding. So she's going to try and clarify that before I send the letter. But in the meantime, I'm going to share the letter anyway with the other members of this committee, just so they can hear what is stated in it, because I'm really representing some of them and not so much me, because I'm getting credit for my time at my site, but some of them are and some of them aren't. So I want to share the letter so they can hear what it says, so that should it be necessary to send it, they are okay with how I worded things, and they can maybe sign the letter as well. So I'm just really waiting for this very slow upload before I head out. And I don't think I'm gonna do any work when I go home. I'm gonna train myself to just go home and be okay with not doing any work. I finally finished grading all the Belle's essays. Thank the Lord. I just need to put them in the grade book, but now I need to grade the first read responses to the Telltale Heart, which is what they worked on today. I only gave them one question to work on and said, you really have to kill this question because it's just not uploading. I'm gonna try this again and leave. You have to really kill this question because it's the only question you have. So, focus and pay attention, which shouldn't be an issue because yesterday we spent some class time rereading the story to specifically annotate text evidence that would help them answer that very specific question. We had some discussion about it, which we always do. So they should be pretty set up to do well if they were diligent and took notes like they were supposed to and all of that. I said, if you didn't, that's kind of on you, and that's the choice that you made for whatever reason. And it was due today at 3. And it looked like most of them got that done. So they did that in language arts. What am I doing? They did that in language arts, and in social studies, they're just working on a jigsaw assignment for lesson 9, which focuses on the different aspects of the Constitution and some of the issues that arose at the Constitutional Convention. So that is what's going on. That's where I'm about to go. And I don't know, I'm not gonna close the blog now. Did it upload? I think this video uploaded, and I'm running late, so I gotta. Good morning. It's Wednesday, January 31st. I didn't end the vlog yesterday because I had my meeting. I got there on time, and then I was catching up with my former principal, and then I got home and I was tired. And so I'm here this morning. Admittedly, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. It's just in a mood. I don't really have reasons I can share as to why that is the case, but I did. I also went home last night and I didn't do any work, so I'm proud of me for that. But this morning, during my elective period, which is second period, I have a Kagan observation because we have Kagan coaches in the district, and that's a whole nother story. And I'm just so overwhelmed that typical Latanya would know exactly what Kagan structure she's going to do for this observation and probably pre-planned it at least a few days in advance. Current Latanya just doesn't even have the energy to do that. So she woke up this morning, that's probably part of the mood she was in. And yes, I am speaking about myself in the third person. She woke up this morning knowing that this observation's happening at 9:15 and still didn't know what she was going to do. So I called one of the Kagan coaches who's a 6th grade teacher who's really nice and said, hey, I just want to let you know, like typically I'm an overachiever, but today I will be doing the bare minimums with this Kagan structure. It's going to be a basic stand-up, hand-up, pair-up, and that's all I can give right now. And she laughed and she's like, oh, not a big deal. Like, I'm a teacher here too, I get it. And she had actually shown us a new Kagan structure at our in-service last Friday. She's like, you know, I did so-and-so at the last staff meeting, and I have all the pieces if you want to use it and do it for your observation. And I said, yes, I do. So I'm going to be doing that. I cannot remember what the name of the structure is. I'm gonna look that up. But it's like it's a team building structure. Like, this structure is solely meant for kids to get talking and getting to know each other. So I'm gonna use that, and just, you know, I need to really learn how to make my life easier. I don't need to overachieve in everything that I do because it's making me tired. So that is what's going on. And yeah, so I'm here to say good morning. I guess this is going to be a 2-dayer. You're going to see yesterday as well as today. I need to kind of stop talking and get myself together for the day and figure out the name of the structure, but I will definitely check in with you a little bit later because we are starting to look both ways today and to kind of show you what the kids are doing in social studies with this jigsaw assignment. So talk to you later. Okay, it's 3 o'clock now, I believe. Let's rehash what I was talking about. My Kagan observation went fine. thank God that the coach gave me those resources because it was very easy to do. And it just goes to show that everything will be okay, even if I don't pre-plan or if I don't have 100% certainty on some things, we will survive. So that went okay, and what the kids were working on today went okay as well. So in social studies, let me see if I have the slides up. They are just jigsawing the chapter on the Constitution. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that earlier in the week. So instead of reading that whole chapter that talks about different aspects of the Constitution, each table group was assigned a part of the Constitution that they will be teaching to the class. And so they worked on the presentations today. And what I did is I made each of them a slide that essentially has, not essentially, it has questions they have to answer. So for example, table 1 is in charge of section 4 in the chapter, which focuses on how should states be represented. And they know in their presentation they have to address all these questions because these are questions that show up in the student workbooks. So as every group is presenting, the kids that are not actively up there presenting are taking notes on what is being presented to them in their workbook. So it forces them to watch the presentation, pay attention to the presentation because they need the information to complete their workbook assignments. So they had class time today. They had to confirm that the information they were going to put in their slides was correct before they were given directions to start creating their slides. And I said, by the time you are told the information you've gathered is correct, the creation of the slides shouldn't take very long because you have gathered all the information. Most of them are using Canva. So I said, you're going to have this class period to do it. If you use your time effectively, you should be able to finish the slide presentation, at least creating it. And if not, you have until midnight tonight to get the link on Google Classroom because we're going to start presentations tomorrow. And for the most part, it seemed like they were all working relatively productively, and most groups were very close to being done, if not done with the slides. The one thing I've learned and just noticed, and we got to work on it, is they'll finish the slides, but it doesn't dawn on them to go back and look at the slides to make sure the slides are grammatically correct or to even practice the presentation as a group. They're just like, we're done. We're not going to look at these again until we're actually up there presenting. And then in language arts, we started Look Both Ways today. I just had that book in front of me. Where did I put it? By Jason Reynolds. Where is my copy of the book? Huh. Hold on, because I definitely want to know where that's at. Look Both Ways by Jason Reynolds. This is another one of the books that I read over the summer. Here it is. Because over the summer is when I decided I wanted to bring in more diverse reads. If I were to celebrate any wins I feel like I'm having this year, because this year is challenging, it's the fact that I've stuck to that. This is our third book out of the 4 that I selected, and each book focuses or highlights a different ethnic group. And so this one is Jason Reynolds. He's a Black author. It's a book of short stories. I know I've mentioned this before. So today I showed them an interview that he did with CBS This Morning, where they get to learn a little bit about Jason Reynolds and what he writes and why he writes what he writes and what his goal is as an author for young adults. And then I showed them another interview that was about 90 seconds long. The first video was about 7.5 minutes long. The second video was about 90 seconds long, and he talked about his concept or the thought of the miracle of storytelling basically being in the mundane things of people's lives. I don't know that I said that super clearly, because the 10 short stories in Look Both Ways at face value seem like they aren't really saying a whole lot. They don't seem like they're super revolutionary stories. And so his point is, you know, when people are reading stories, they always feel like something grand and something big has to happen. And he's like, and really, good storytelling can occur. Oh, I didn't even post this. Oh my gosh. Hold on for my Switch class. Good storytelling occurs within those mundane, less entertaining, less dynamic moments in life. So I wanted them to understand that that's kind of the premise of all of these stories. And so I've been struggling with what do I want them to do with this book to have some level of accountability. I don't want to just give them quizzes or worksheets. So I made these slides today. I'll just make it bigger. They'll get a new slide set with every short story, but I basically am just going to be duplicating the last slide. So the first slide just gives them some background information on what the book is about, lets them know that it's 10 short stories that are told within the span of this 10-block neighborhood, and it's focused on like kids that are about middle school aged and the things that go on, you know, after school dismissal, after school. Then I show them the video where he's being interviewed by CBS This Morning with Jane Pauley. That one's about 7.5 minutes. Then I made sure to define for them what does it mean when something is mundane. So lacking interest or excitement, something that's considered dull or boring. And then we watched the 90-second clip of him talking about the magic of the mundane in storytelling. And so this is what they're going to have to do after every story. They're going to fill out this chart where they identify the main characters in a bulleted list. What was the mundane thing? So today we read the first story, which is called Water Booger Bears. So the mundane thing is, it seems like it's a story about this boy that has boogers in his nose. But then the story reveals much more than that. Then they're going to do a basic story summary using a bulleted list. So what happens in the beginning, middle, and end. But then what was the real magic? So in this story, yes, it's about a boy that has boogers in his nose and has some, you know, gross habits. But what do we really learn about him? His name was TJ, and his best friend, whose name was Jasmine. So in this story, we learned that Jasmine has sickle cell anemia. Her parents are recently divorced, and she was out of school this past month because she was suffering from sickle cell anemia. With TJ, we learned that he doesn't know who his real mom is, that he lives with his dad, and his dad has had multiple women, at least 2 that we know of, that he refers to as my old mom and my new mom, but he doesn't know his real mom. And then the last thing they're going to be asked to do, they can't do it with the first story, is to think about whether or not the story, I need to fix that, is this story, whether or not the story and its characters related or connected to another story in the book. And I let them know the connection cannot be that they go to the same school, because we already know that, or that they live in the same neighborhood, because we already know that as well. That they have to really look for true, like, story overlap or story connection. And I don't know why the coloring of the video right now is weird, but it is. So I told them this will be 100 classwork points. Should be easy points. And I said, therefore, this whole book in total is worth 1,000 points, because there's 10 stories, and each story they'll have that slide, and every time that slide will be worth 100 points in total. So we're gonna see how that goes. And then long range, my thought is, I think I'm gonna try this, is they're gonna write a personal narrative where they share something about themselves that is actually true, like a mundane thing or a small thing about their life that they share that is true, but they're gonna somehow weave their personal narrative into this neighborhood. And that part of the story is gonna obviously have to be fictional. So that's my idea. I've never done it before because we've never read this book before, but I think it would work. Like, it seems like an interesting idea when I say it out loud. So we'll see, but that's what I accomplished today. And then school was over, and I'm very thankful, and I'm gonna try and go home real soon, because I need to make some life changes for sure in terms of my work-life balance. But I do need to go up to the office to see about laminating. To see about laminating the posters announcing the sale of friendship grams that's going to start tomorrow, so that we can get those hung up. The big drama is the school proctor that always helps with these gram sales or fundraiser sales had to go home sick today, and she's like the expert on how to track the money and all the things that have to be done for auditing purposes. She had to go home sick. I can't cover all the lunches because I'm teaching during 6th and 7th grade lunch, and I don't even know all the logistics of what she does. So I think she's going to show the assistant principal how to do it, and then he's going to be out there. But that means tomorrow morning I got to come in and double check to make sure that he knows exactly what he's supposed to do. So that's how the day went. I know that I'm going to go ahead and end the vlog here, because I just know that I'm going to want to go home and just be quiet and be still, so I need to get this edited. So if you enjoyed today's vlog, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please feel free to do so. And as always, I hope that you're well. And if you're not well, please be well. And please know that I'm working on it with you. If you're not well, like I'm working on trying to be more well than I am. But I hope you're out there doing the best that you can. And I will be sure to see you guys in the next vlog.